Hello, my beautiful friend, and welcome to this video. I am so grateful you are here. This is a Q&A to celebrate 5,000 subscribers here on this channel, here as a part of this community, this growing family. And I have no idea how this video is going to turn out because I decided to do it a little bit differently and film outside, since it is a kind of different video, like Q&A versus like a hair play, or one of those videos where I need to make sure I can really control the sound. That being said, we shall see if this even works, because it is early morning here. There are chickens, there are goats, there are birds and bugs and all these things. So I don't know if it's going to be a little bit too much. Hopefully it's kind of nice and enjoyable, and you guys can kind of feel the morning energy. But getting back into the video, I really do just want to express my heartfelt gratitude for each and every one of you. I wouldn't have imagined that in 6 months since creating this channel that I would already have 5,000 subscribers, and not only that many people, but such a beautiful, kind, supportive, loving group of people. It really does feel like me, or it really does feel to me, that it is like a community, that it is like a family. And that is a huge intention of mine in growing this channel more, is for it to become like a community. There's a chicken. And to explore ways that I can really further that connection even more as we grow together. So thank you for everyone who has subscribed. Thank you to everyone who left a question for me to answer in this Q&A video. If you didn't see or didn't have the opportunity to leave a question and you have one, or you think of one during this video, absolutely leave your question in the comments and we can just kind of compile them together for the next time that we do a Q&A video. So all of that being said, I have written down the questions here in this notebook. The categories that we have are personal background, ASMR, and YouTube related questions. What else? Philosophical and spiritual, yoga and Reiki, hobbies and interests, and some like travel related and goal related questions. So it's a good little mix. Okay, let's go ahead and get into question number 1, which is, what is my age and what state do I live in? I just recently had my birthday on September 29th, and I just turned 33 years old. So that is my age. I am 33, and I currently live in Virginia in the United States. And the next question was, where am I from? And also ancestry, like where my roots are, where my family is from. So I'm actually from Virginia as well, where I'm living currently. This is where I was born. This is where I grew up. And in terms of ancestry, My dad's side of the family is French, and my mom's side of the family is actually from Czechoslovakia. There's some Czech and also some German roots. So French, German, and Czech. One of the places that I really, really want to go to is the Czech Republic, because I've been to France, I've been to Germany, so it's like the one place left within my kind of ancestral roots that I have not visited is the Czech Republic. So that'll be soon, hopefully. Okay. ASMR and YouTube related questions. What made me realize I was into ASMR, and what was my first experience if I had one? Okay, let's see. So, yeah, I'll kind of answer both of these questions in one response. Yes, I absolutely did have a first experience of ASMR, and it is also what made me realize that I was into ASMR, although I didn't know what that was at the time. Like, I didn't realize that I was experiencing ASMR when it was happening. It was much, much later that I even understood that ASMR was a thing. So my first experience was when I was little, and as I was growing up, my mom would always play with my hair. She would brush my hair, she would run her fingers through my hair, and kind of like scratch my back and my arms. So yeah, it was always just the most beautiful, nurturing, comforting, like safe feeling, and of course it felt amazing. Like hair play for me is just ultimate tingles. It just feels so good. I have said this before, I would pay very good money to just have someone play with my hair and kind of play with my neck, like scratch my back, over a good massage pretty much any day. So yeah, that was my first experience of ASMR and how I got into ASMR. And so the next question has kind of been answered a little bit here as well. What got you into ASMR? Do you experience it yourself? Or is it something that brings you peace and relaxation? So yes, I do experience ASMR myself, not with, all triggers. And I think that's the case for all of us, right? Is anyone who experiences ASMR, we experience it through different audio triggers, visual triggers, different sensations, and in different ways. That's part of what's so beautiful about the uniqueness of our experience. And does it bring me peace and relaxation? With the right triggers, yes. With not the wrong, because there is no wrong, but with triggers that I personally do not connect with, no. It can do quite the opposite, and we'll get into that in a second with another question. But yeah, especially with like the hair play, the personal attention, and just kind of like this element of human touch and connection, nurturing touch, I find so much peace and relaxation in that. I think because to me, human connection is like why we are here. And so there is just a very deep, deep peace in witnessing that, in being a part of that. So yeah, definitely in those cases, feeling very relaxed, feeling very peaceful. So let's see. What made you want to create a YouTube channel? about ASMR, Reiki, yoga, etc., etc. Okay. This is actually really interesting because I had not even come across ASMR on YouTube until very, very recently. And I don't even know how it happened. Like, let me know in the comments if you are one of these people where you can't even remember how you came across ASMR on YouTube. It just kind of happened. That was me. And it was like somehow one day the algorithm just fed me one of these hair play videos, and I was like, what is this? This is like what I always experienced as a child. It's like all of a sudden I was made aware of the fact that that was even a thing that people were doing on YouTube. And this is like within the past year. I'm talking, that's how recent this is. And I got sucked into the hole of watching these videos. I'm sure I am not the only one who probably got less sleep watching these videos than before, because then I just stayed up watching them. But I just loved it. I found it so beautiful and comforting and, again, nurturing and like wholesome. And I actually have another YouTube channel. Maybe a couple of you know of this, but most of you probably don't. I'll link my other YouTube channel in the description box below if you would like to check it out. It's not an ASMR channel. It's more of like spirituality and personal development and things like that. I talk a lot about my ayahuasca experience and journey. So I had already gotten comfortable with the kind of creation element of YouTube. There's mosquitoes. I'm gonna be eaten alive by the time this video is over, but that's okay. I'll do it for you guys. And it just spoke to me. It was like, this is what I want to be doing. And it might sound insane, but I swear to you, before I even knew this was a thing, I would joke, like I would playfully kind of tell my mom and like my friends, if I could just have a job of brushing people's hair and just like holding people and bringing them comfort and helping them feel good, and like that would be my ideal career. But who would ever think that you could have a job like playing with people's hair? So, not that this is a full-time thing yet, but one day. Yeah, and I just wanted to bring more love into the world. I just wanted to bring comfort and connection. I think that there is a lot of disconnection in this world. There's a lot of pain, and it's hard sometimes. It's really hard sometimes. And you know, we live in a world that is becoming more and more connected in terms of technology and social media, but more and more disconnected in the sense of actual human one-on-one relationships, more texting versus phone calls, more, just like less real, authentic human connection and relationships. And I know that this channel is still like a form of digital connection, but my goal eventually one day with this channel is to be able to find ways to connect even more, like in real life. I would love to have retreats one day where we can come together in person. But yeah, I think my goal, my intention with this channel was to connect and to spread more love and to help people feel nurtured and safe and to bring a little bit more stillness. We're very like go, go, go in this society, and it's rare that we find moments to pause and just be with ourselves and breathe. And it's super, super easy to get caught up on social media, but if someone can watch an ASMR video that naturally does just kind of bring a little bit more peace, I would so much rather be encouraging and spreading that kind of energy. So the Reiki just kind of like felt naturally in tune with what I was already wanting to offer. Just to be clear, I am actually a certified Reiki practitioner. I know sometimes in the ASMR world there's like role plays, but I do practice Reiki, and so any of my Reiki videos are just an offering and a service to, again, bring peace, bring healing to the world. Okay. Favorite and least favorite ASMR triggers? Are there any themes / triggers you dislike or are not a fan of but are performed by others? Yes. Okay. Just want to preface this by saying, again, we are all unique. That is what makes us beautiful. I love that there are these, like, an infinite variety of ASMR triggers, and that there's different things that bring relaxation and, you know, this kind of feel-good energy to different people. That being said, the main ones for me personally that I just do not connect with are like fast and aggressive ASMR triggers and really intense mouth sounds. So the fast and aggressive ASMR triggers, I just find it fascinating that brings peace to someone, because to me it is so overly stimulating that it makes me feel anxious. But again, that's how, like, we are all so unique, and mouth sounds just not my thing. Yeah, but love that it is for many people. And then in terms of what I do like, and my, I guess, favorite, that would be kind of what I've already touched on, right? Like hair play, brushing, back tracing, scratching, gentle, nourishing, like soft movements and hand motions, like neck and face tracing. I love seeing in videos when someone is a front-facing model and someone is kind of like tracing their chest. Yeah, it's amazing, and I feel like I'm there. Total side note for you guys, I absolutely want to be offering videos like that eventually. As many of you know, my best friend Sydney is very, very private, so she's not comfortable showing her face, which is why we haven't done one like that yet. But eventually I want to be always working with my beautiful angel Sydney, but also bringing in, you know, more people, more models, more diversity, definitely. So yeah, more to come, which is very, very exciting. Okay. Oh, that's actually really funny. The next question, I didn't even realize this. Can you please invite more of your friends and family to be on your YouTube channel with you? Yes, of course. That is a huge intention. That is a huge goal. It's been a little bit challenging because of my living situation. At the moment, I recently moved back to the United States from living abroad, from living in Peru, And so I'm staying at Sydney's house. And so, you know, it is like a second home to me, but it's not my home, and I need to be respectful of that. So I can't necessarily bring in people from, you know, all over the place into her home right now. So obviously the goal is that when I have my own space or some different spots that I can film in, that I will be working with more people, more friends, more family, and hopefully with you guys as well, because that would be amazing. So yes, hopefully very, very soon we will be bringing in some different people and some more diversity to these videos. The next question, I loved this. I thought this was really cute. Okay. You obviously have such a calming presence and voice for ASMR. Thank you. But I wonder, is what we see your daily energy? Let me rephrase that. Is what we see your daily energy away from videos too? Or are you normally more fast-paced and louder away from the camera? I know some people to be exactly like how they are on screen, and some who have to mentally and physically tone it down for the camera. Yeah, I love this question because it definitely just invites in the consideration of just how multifaceted we are as people. And you know, it's interesting to me, total side note here, but this sort of idea of like being authentic to yourself, which I 100% am on board with. And also I think that our authenticity can show up in different ways in different situations. It's not like there's just this one version of our most authentic self. So agreement, confirmation. So what I will say to this is that I am a very, thank you, Richard. I'm a very outgoing person naturally, and I can be quite an extroverted person. I tend to be, quite high energy. However, what is interesting about that, wow, we'll see how long this goes on. I hope no one is trying to actually fall asleep to this video. What is interesting, though, is that it doesn't necessarily feel like I have to tone it down for these videos. It's just more so like tapping into this side of myself. And as someone who has been a yoga teacher, I'm a certified yoga teacher, I have led a lot of like meditation practices, I'm a Reiki practitioner, I have worked at retreat spaces. So I worked at a yoga retreat, I worked at an ayahuasca retreat. It's just another version of myself that I tune into, and it doesn't feel like toning it down or having to like turn off any side of myself. It's just like you make the switch and shift into this energy. I hope that makes sense. Yeah, it's also a very comfortable space for me to be in, and I definitely do have like a very high energy aspect of myself. Super interesting question. Yeah. We're gonna really have to ask Richard to calm down. I'm gonna need to ask Richard to tap into his ASMR energy. Okay. Here, let's move on to the philosophical and spiritual questions. I love you guys so much, by the way, for these questions. It was really fun to see the diversity in the questions themselves and what you were curious to know. So very cool. Thank you. Okay. So the next question, are you happy with life in general, and what motivates you to be happy? Phew, what a question. Okay. Yes, I am happy with life in general. I feel very blessed. I feel very grateful for life in general, and there are many reasons for that, but I feel lucky to be alive. I think that life is a gift, and there's so much that we're here to experience and feel and learn from and grow from and connect with. And I want to kind of like, I want to say something here, which is part of the reason that I also believe that I am happy with life in general is because I don't judge any emotions as right or wrong. So yes, my overall energy may be happy, but I really allow and open up space for all of it, for sadness, for grief, for anger, frustration, and joy and bliss, and all the things. Like, they all have a home here, and they're welcome. I think that when we allow ourselves to feel it all, we create even more space within ourselves for happiness, because shutting down any emotion shuts down all emotion, right? So if we shame and judge and do not allow ourselves to feel anger or sadness or grief, then we limit our capacity for joy and bliss and happiness and expansion. So allowing all of it makes a really big difference, not judging all of it, just allowing it to flow through rather than getting stuck or holding on to any of that energy. Yeah. And what motivates you to be happy? Oh my gosh. Being a vessel of that energy for others to experience. Because I believe that the more that we tap into those feelings of peace and love and joy and happiness, it's like permission to others to feel the same. And if we're gonna get into the spiritual aspect of things, like, I really do believe that everything is energy, everything is vibration. And so when I embody a state of joy, that energy expands out into the world and to other people and opens up this kind of like energetic frequency for others to feel as well. I believe that our true nature is love. I really personally believe that, like, that is who we are, that is what we come from, that is what we return to. And so what motivates me to be happy is kind of the fact that I know that that is in essence me reuniting with the truth of who I already am. And it's a choice. It's always, always a choice. And I know that this can be really challenging for a lot of people to accept, because it kind of brings a level of personal responsibility that our emotional state and how we feel is always a choice, and no one can make you feel anything. Do not give your power away to external situations, circumstances, people. Oftentimes you will hear people say, or I have said many a time myself, like, you are making me feel this, or this person made me feel this way, but they didn't. No one can make us feel anything. We are the only ones with that power. So yeah, it's very much kind of taking back the autonomy of choosing in these moments where it's like easy to fall into some of these other emotions. Like, yes, I can feel that and I can allow that to move through me, and then I can choose to come back to my inherent nature of peace and joy and all of these things. Going back to kind of what motivates me to be happy, I would say it's like a deeper sense of purpose, of connection with other people, and just knowing and really believing that we are here to expand. We are here to spread love. We are here to create from a space of of joy and purpose and all of these like really beautiful energies. So yeah, and I think that life is, we're here to play, we're here to have fun, we're here to experience. That's part of the journey, that's part of the ride. And so especially as adults, oftentimes we kind of lose this like childlike, lighthearted aspect of who we are. And so it's tuning back into the childlike energy, the playful energy of joy and happiness, and seeing life for the miracle that it is. So yeah, those are some of the things that motivate me to be happy. I think that this next question kind of rides off of some of what I just talked about. You guys got deep with these questions, by the way. Okay, so I am going to read this question and then we will see what comes. I did not write notes for this one, did I? No, I didn't. Okay. As your understanding of existence and life, how do you relate your levels of awareness and consciousness to your experience of interconnectedness and oneness? Whoa, man, you are not playing around with these questions. Okay, so the first thing that I want to say with this question is that one thing that I have come to realize more and more every day is that the more I know, the more I recognize that I don't know. And there is an aspect of the unknown to all of this that is really part of the magic. It's part of the beauty, is that I can, have faith in certain things. I can have my beliefs. Do I know? I don't know. That being said, with where I am at, with the level of awareness and consciousness that I exist in, that I embody in this moment, I very, very strongly believe that we are all one. I believe that and I will say, what I love about this is that really, even if you look at like any religion, or even if you're not looking at religion, if you look at science, there is always this aspect of the fact that we've all come from one place. If you look at it from a scientific perspective, it's like the Big Bang. Everything came from nothing. Everything came from this one moment of expansion. And from a more spiritual perspective, not that that's not spiritual, I do believe that there is one source energy, consciousness. Depending on your beliefs, you may think of that as God. You may think of, source, creator, this kind of ultimate energy that has created everything. And so I do believe that we all come from that space, and that we are expressions of that one energy, of that one consciousness, that are having these unique experiences. And I believe that we always return to that space. And because we are all interconnected, nothing that we do just affects us. Like, what I do to myself, I do to you. And what I do to you, I do to myself at an energetic level. So this is part of why I believe so strongly in spreading love and kindness and compassion, and especially to ourselves, because, the more that I love myself, the more that I show myself compassion and understanding and presence, the more that I can give that to you, and the more that you feel that in your life. Nothing is disconnected. We are connected to each other. We are connected to nature. We are connected to, like, really the seen and the unseen world. I believe that separation is an illusion. I think that part of this human experience is that we feel separation, and it's the opportunity to come back to the realization that we are all one and that we are all connected. I haven't talked much on this channel about my experience working at an ayahuasca retreat. Ayahuasca is a plant medicine indigenous to the Amazon rainforest, and I spent a year working at a retreat center in the Sacred Valley of Peru. If you would like to hear more about that, definitely let me know. But one of my most impactful personal experiences with ayahuasca was this journey of experiencing oneness, and it was like being reunited. It was like going back home. It was like returning home to this energy that we are, that we come from, and it was the most safe, beautiful, loving, peaceful energy that you could possibly imagine. And it just brought me so much peace to believe and to trust that that really is what we return to. So the next question is, what are your true passions in life? There's so many that it's hard to say, but I would say some things that come to mind are connecting with other incredible humans, and just the experience of connection on all levels. Like, yes, of course, deep, meaningful, long-lasting relationships, but also these brief moments of connection that we make with someone that might just last a few seconds, and we never see that person again, but there's just so much beauty in that, and that we never know how we are impacting someone or how they are impacting us. Creation, like creativity, finding ways to express in many different ways, spiritual growth and personal development. And this is where the Reiki and yoga and meditation, like all of those things, really come into play. Travel. I'm very passionate about traveling and experiencing different cultures. I'm passionate about singing. I love to sing, and music. Being in nature and moving my body, seeing what my body is capable of. I love Pilates and walking and dancing and strength training. Like, I just love to see what my body can do. So I am passionate about taking care of my body, taking care of my health, taking care of my mind, helping other people do the same. I am passionate about spreading the message that you are worthy and capable and deserving of creating the life that you are meant for, and that anything is possible. You do not have to settle for anything. You are capable of so much more than you realize, and that this life is, we're here to create, we are here to have fun, we're here to expand to our fullest potential and capabilities. And so, like, spreading that awareness, and in order to do so, I need to embody that myself, which is part of what this channel is all about. So yeah, there's so much more. I'm sure I'm forgetting things. But the next question is, what inspires you? And I feel like I've kind of touched on that a little bit, but I'll just say, like, nature inspires me. People inspire me, especially people who are moving through the fear and doing the things that scare them to step up into their full potential and make this world a more beautiful place. I'm inspired by music. I am inspired by a lot of people in my life, honestly, who have just done really incredible things. I don't know, there's just so much. There's so much that inspires me. Like, the world inspires me. I am inspired by life. I'm inspired by, every moment that we can be present and see what's around us. Like, being inspired by the simple things, I think, is really powerful. Just the very simple beauties in life. So, yeah. Okay, this is probably going to be a really long video. So moving on. The next category is yoga and Reiki. So how long have you been doing yoga? How long have you been practicing yoga? I have been practicing yoga for about 15 years. That being said, I would say that it kind of started out a little more superficially, like just practicing yoga because it was a workout or a way to move my body, or other people were doing it. There wasn't this deeper connection and spiritual aspect to it. That has more so come in the past like 10 years, maybe like 8 to 10 years, I would say. And especially back in 2018 and 2019, I lived and worked at a yoga retreat and ashram in Australia. And that really was the catalyst for my spiritual journey in general, but definitely my yoga practice at a deeper level. So yeah, I think we're always beginners in yoga. We're always learning, but it's just such a powerful practice to bring us into a space of connection with ourselves, with our bodies, with our minds. Yoga literally means union. And so it's like it's all connected, really, which is part of why I love it. What drew you to Reiki? For those of you that don't know, Reiki is a Japanese healing modality. It is a form of energy healing that can be hands-on or hands-off. And it's essentially connecting with universal life force energy and acting as a channel to heal yourself, to heal others. What drew me to Reiki actually was my experience with ayahuasca. I will have to share more about this eventually. Ayahuasca has been absolutely transformative and deeply life-changing for me. That being said, I also had some very, very challenging and actually quite traumatic experiences with ayahuasca. There's actually a video on my other channel where I talk about this more deeply. So if you want to check that out, I think it's the most recent video on my channel, my other channel. And what I came to recognize is that ayahuasca is a very powerful medicine, and also not always the softest. You know, it really throws you into the depths of your traumas and these very deeply rooted subconscious beliefs. Throws you into the darkest corners of your mind, which is not bad. It's just hard. And when I came out of that experience, my nervous system was fried. I was deeply traumatized. I lived with a lot of fear for a couple years afterwards, which now I'm very grateful for because of many things, but it taught me a lot. And I was looking for something that was a form of healing that was more nurturing, more gentle and soft and flowing and feminine and, yeah, not quite so aggressive, to kind of like complement my healing journey. That was what I was looking for, and so that is what I found, and that is what drew me to Reiki, and it's been incredible. What is the first step into learning Reiki, and what is the process? Where and how is a good place to start for learning Reiki? Oh, I love this question. Thank you for being curious about this. I love that. So let me just briefly break down for you the levels of Reiki. There is Reiki level 1, which essentially connects you to the energy so that you can heal yourself. Reiki level 2 actually attunes you to some specific symbols that are worked with in Reiki, so that you can then go a little bit deeper into working with other people. And again, it's like acting as this channel to support other people in their healing. So level 1 is for yourself, And level 2 is to then be able to actually start working with others. With Reiki level 2, you are now able to perform a full Reiki treatment, either in person or with a distance form of healing, which is what I do when I do distance Reiki sessions with you guys here on YouTube. And then there is also a master level of Reiki, which I am a master practitioner, which is essentially just receiving additional symbols, additional attunements to go deeper. It's not necessary. You don't have to be a Reiki master to, for example, work with other people, loved ones, or even open a Reiki practice. It's just diving deeper. And one of the main differences in being a Reiki master is that you are able to teach other people and you are able to attune other people to Reiki itself and to the Reiki symbols. So if you knew that you wanted to be a teacher or you wanted to attune other people, then you would want to take the Reiki Masters training. It can help to strengthen your intuition and just connect more deeply with Reiki energy itself. And so in terms of going deeper, if you know that you want to learn Reiki, I would highly, highly suggest just Googling an in-person Reiki training where you live. Of course, you can do these trainings online, but I think that there is something very powerful about doing this type of energy training in person, being able to connect with your Reiki teacher in person. So that's what I would recommend, is just, go online, search Reiki training, Reiki level 1, Reiki level 2 training near me or in whatever your town is, and just see what's available to you. I would love one day to actually be able to do some in-person Reiki trainings or like retreats or something like that. So if that is something that you guys are interested in any capacity, definitely let me know. That would be really cool. The next category, hobbies and interests. What is your favorite crystal and why? I love this. Okay. I feel like I am cheating a little bit with this question, but this right here is moldavite. I don't know if you can see very well because I'm filming with my phone, so it's not the best focusing. But this ring is my favorite, and the reason that I said that I'm cheating a little bit with this question is because technically moldavite is not exactly a crystal. It's more so it's almost like a glass. So moldavite was actually formed from a meteorite impact about 15 million years ago in what is now present day Czech Republic. I found this ring when I lived in Australia. I didn't know what it was, and only afterwards was aware that it had come from present day Czech Republic, which is really cool since that's where I'm from. But because moldavite has these celestial origins, it comes from a meteorite, it's a really powerful energy of transformation, of kind of merging the earthly and the celestial energies and extraterrestrial energies. It is a stone of awakening. It is a spiritual catalyst. Like I said, transformation, expanding intuition, and also because it looks dark here, but it is a green color, which is related to the heart chakra. So opening your heart, expanding and healing the heart chakra. So that is my favorite moldavite. What are your favorite activities and things to do? And I've kind of touched on this again in some of my other questions, but obviously spending time with people that I love, traveling, singing, listening to music, dancing. I love spending time in nature. I love going on long walks, moving my body, working out, yoga, Pilates. I love a good cup of coffee. I love going to like little cafes and just sitting there with my coffee, reading. I love reading, walking barefoot on grass. Yeah, just like connecting to nature, deep conversation, like really diving into the depths of another person and just exploring that is so rewarding. Yeah, those are some of them. I'll have to, many more, but those are some good ones. Do you create any forms of art? This was a fun question. I believe that life is art. I think that we are always creating art with every choice that we make, with every word that we speak, with everything that we do throughout the day. It's like we are creating our own art literally with our lives. We are artists. We are all artists. Anyone that says they are not creative or they are not an artist, no, my love, you are an artist. Look at what you have created with your life. But I know that's not exactly your question. So in terms of like more specific forms of artwork, I would say that for me, it leans more towards like the music and the singing aspect. I definitely feel that music and singing is a form of art. Writing, I really love to write. I love to journal. I love to write poetry. Yeah, I would love to write a book one day. In terms of like painting and drawing, that's not necessarily something that I've like dived into a lot, but yeah, writing, poetry, music. I am just starting to learn the guitar, so I would love to learn the guitar. I feel like that's a form of art. So that is the answer to that question. Do you like comic books and superheroes? And if so, what are your favorite superheroes? I am so sorry to disappoint with this question, because I don't really have a favorite superhero. What I will say is that I don't necessarily read comic books, but I do love like anime and manga, and I have since I was in high school. So I love like manga and reading those types of books, but not like comic books necessarily. And so I think for me, there's something about like the fictional aspect of these things that I absolutely love. It's like a little bit of a escape, and that's not a bad thing. Fiction books, fantasy, all these things. Sometimes it's nice to be able to escape for a little while into these other worlds. So although I'm not necessarily like a huge comic or superhero person, I do love, like manga, fantasy. Give me a good like fantasy romance. I'm all about it. So I hope that kind of answers that question. Okay, we are down to the last 2 questions. So the next one is, where has been your favorite destination in your travels? You guys, this is so hard. It's so hard because I've been to so many places. And like all of them have such a special place in my heart. I will say that I hold very near and dear the places that I have lived, because I was able to really explore them and get to know them. So like Australia, Peru, Spain, because I lived in those places. Really, really loved them so much. I love Costa Rica. I loved Hawaii. I loved Morocco. Yeah, I don't know. There's like, Cambodia. Loved Cambodia. So if I had to choose a top 3, I think I would say Australia, Peru, and Costa Rica. Yeah. Okay. And the last question, oh my goodness. 2 things on an internal list of goals or bucket list you want to experience in the years to come. I could not for the life of me narrow this down to just 2. So forgive me. And I feel like these kind of like intertwine with each other. It's like there's some bucket list things that are also goals bucket list. So let's just like open up the space for all of these things to come through. Let's talk about my goal with YouTube first, because I feel like it fits, right? I want to grow this beautiful, amazing YouTube community just to be as expansive as possible. Yes, of course, I want this to be my full-time, I can't even say job. Like, it doesn't feel like a job. I want this to be the path, my service. That's what I should say. The way that I give back to the world, I want to be able to go all in on this, because I want to be able to spend as much time with you as possible. I want to be able to put a video out like every 2 days, you know? And so to have the ability to put all of my time into service to you, that is a huge, huge goal. And to grow this community so that I can be of better service, so that it is more expansive to you. I want to be able to meet up in person and have retreats and like meet you guys in real life. I really want this to be a family, and I don't know yet how that is going to happen or what that's going to look like, but that's a huge goal. I want to definitely create a Patreon to start to further this along and be able to share more offerings. So yeah, that's a goal for sure. A random one that I will share with you is that I currently have a goal to become a trauma-informed breathwork facilitator. I'm working on that as we speak, and I should finish that certification next year. So I'm very excited about that. And I'll just like list off a couple random ones for you guys, but learn to play guitar. I want to write a book one day. I want to buy my mom a home in Spain. I want to continue traveling the world. I would love to do the Camino de Santiago, which is like a spiritual pilgrimage or walk in Spain. And I would love to create music one day in some capacity. And I just want to be able to give back. Like, I want to be living in a space of abundance so that I can support others, because a lot of people have done that for me. I've been so supported, and it's time for me to really give back in that way, and I'm really excited about that. So, yeah, ASMR retreats, and yeah, just like expanding these videos. I love, many of you will know, like Prime, just the good old days of It's Blitz, her videos, and the way that she interacts with different people and her subscribers. Like, oh my gosh, that is the dream for having those types of videos on this channel. So yeah, that was definitely more than 2, but I'm not very good at censoring myself. So I hope that answered your question. I have many goals. I would love to hear some of your goals. Please, please, please share some of your goals and dreams or bucket list items in the comments below if you've made it this far in the video. And that's it. Those are the questions, you guys. I just want to express again my absolute gratitude and just appreciation for you, for being here, for being a part of this family. I love you. And I don't say that lightly. Like, I love you. I'm blessed to be here, and I just cannot wait to continue growing this family together. So yeah, if you have made it all the way until the end of this video, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I am sending you the biggest hug and all of my love and appreciation. And until next time, my beautiful friend, I will see you in the next video.